Jack here, JBF Music and Guitar Lessons, back with some signature guitar licks for you from the incredible Michael Schenker. Alright, we've got those 3 licks in ascending difficulty, looking at some of his more common tricks, habits, and trying to capture some of the greatness of his playing for our own wicked ends. Just before we dive in, the tabs are on my patreon.com/JBFmusic if you want them. If you enjoy this kind of thing or the content I'm putting out in general, please do let me know with a like, comment and share. This really helps the channel out as well as the visibility of this specific video. It makes it much easier for other people to find. If you haven't already, feel free to give subscribe a click and enable all notifications to let the YouTube overlords know you'd actually quite like seeing more of this sort of stuff. But yeah, let's just crack on. Kicking off with the lick I took from him just jamming or noodling around, we're hitting the G string with a downstroke, then doing a mini sweep through to the B string, so down down. This economy picking combined with legato was a trick I've only recently realised loads of these top players use. You can get a bit more insight in that with a little eye up there. We use the B strings as a trill, the hammer and pull off, to hop back over to the other side of the G string, ready for another down and repeat. Similar idea, going down on the G, down on the B. This time the trill is longer. Hammer on, pull off, hammer on, pull off. We then have another one of these mini sweeps. Hammering on. Then you've got a big bend up here, you're going up 2 tones. We're aiming for this F sharp. So. About there. You release the bend. Pull off. Then we're coming down the G string by picking this blues note. Picking this one here. Pull off. Dinging the D string, miss out entirely, and resolve to this note on the A. Okay, quite a few Schenker playing habits here to unpack, which is why I picked this one out. We're in E minor, although this lick will work over an E major or E dominant 7 in a UFO kind of rock context. Using this blue note, rather than the 4th of semitone below, Schenker will do that quite a lot, so this kind of trill is more common. Schenker quite likes to use that flat 5 or sharp 4, it's a bit more typical of his playing. He might also sometimes put the most subtle of quarter tone bends on it, like an 8th or kind of 16th of a bend, if you want to think of it that way. So there, just the tiniest of tiny bends. And it just adds a bit more of a Schenkerian quality, if we can call it that. The double down thing is something he'll do on these faster licks. Similarly, he'll use little upward sweeps going from licks the other way, so this kind of thing. So you're going down, up, pull off, and then you're doing another down here. Tab for that particular lick is on my patreon.com/JBFmusic, but in a nutshell, you're bending the 14th fret, upstroke on the 12th, upstroke on the 15th fret on the B, pull off. I'm not too sure if Schenker would hit this with an up or a down. I think it's a down, but I mean, all this stuff is a means to an end. Use these tricks that help you and adapt the ones that hinder you. This rhythmic variation in bar 1 of note, trill, single note, trill, single note, longer trill. It's pretty typical of Schenker, and with those 2 final notes of the bar, it fits neatly into a standard 4/4 measure. Very similar to something that Iron Maiden's Dave Murray might do, a tutorial on that with a little eye up there. The big bend is most Schenkerific indeed as well. I suspect what he's thinking about is the underlying chord changing from an E minor where we've been targeting the flat 5, the 5, the flat 7, to a D where we'd be targeting its 3rd, F sharp with a bend. Then running down the E blues scale, using this 14th fret, which is a B, when resolving the lick back to that E minor chord. This idea of landing on the 5th of a chord to resolve a lick is something he does a fair bit, particularly in conjunction with having come down a blues scale. As a side note, I'm speculating on the chord changes because he was just jamming by himself. In all fairness, this lick will still kick it over an E minor, or E7. That bend up to the F sharp, in that context, would just be hinting at the 9th for a little bit of dissonance. Big bends, and this one really is a beast, going up by 2.5 semitones. My fingertips are barely surviving after having done that one, particularly the slower version. I apologise if it was poorly intonated there. So for some tips on tackling these bigger bends, check out the little eye up there. If your hands or fingers are having a hard time, like mine definitely are, but we're aiming for this note here, a 4th higher. Rather than returning the bend to pitch, just dip it down a tiny bit, maybe to like a full bend or a 2-tone bend, then bend it up to that 2.5 tone pitch. So you have that really big bend. You want to dip it a tiny bit and do these little rebends. 4 of them, back to pitch. And then what we're going to do is run down the scale, the 17th fret. I suspect he might be doing these aforementioned mini sweeps from the last lick on these 17th frets here. So I'd go up, up. Feel free to roll your finger across the 17th fret. I prefer using different ones. Just whatever suits yourself, really. We continue down the blues scale and hit a pinch harmonic on that 18th fret with a tasty little quarter tone bend, resolving to the 15th fret. Alright, we've covered that big bends are a Schenker thing to do, so I think I've really driven that point home now. We've got the use of economy picking again. We're in G minor here, playing over more of a riff than anything else. G5, F5, G5, B flat 5, F5, G5. So we're hitting that big bend over the chord change from the G minor to the F and then back to the G minor. The note we're bending is going from a C when it's unbent all the way up to an F. The F is obviously the root of F major and also the flat 7th of G minor. So while extending that G minor to a minor 7th, it's a pretty nice interval over both. But like I say, this is more over a riff, so this type of analysis I think is a little bit redundant. We come down the blues scale over that B flat to F, but if you listen to the original version, there's some Schenker magic going on. Now, this is a trick I'm still working on, so please bear with me, but I've noticed this when transcribing some of Glenn Tipton's licks from Judas Priest Painkiller. 4 licks to press from that solo with a little eye up there, which include that monster sweep he kicks the solo off with. But yeah, they both use a lot of harmonic attack. Tipton seems to use it more or less as his picking technique. Schenker seems to sort of fade it in as and when he wants. The basic idea is to hit the string with a bit more of your fingers, so you get not exactly a full-on pinch, but a sort of partial one. So if you opt to go for this mini sweep when you hit the A string, you want to get a kind of partial pinch. Learn how to get upward pinches or those types of things with a little eye up there. You know, if you're sweeping upward, we're used to getting pinches downward, you can get them upward as well. It will take a bit of trial and error, and as I say, I'm still working on getting this down at nowhere near the level of control and smoothness that Schenker has with it. But just make sure to hit that 18th fret with a full harmonic and job done. And using a bit more of the harmonic attack. Saving the hardest one for last here from a live version of UFO's classic Lights Out. The best advice I can give here is to try and use one finger per string and just go with whatever makes the picking easier for yourself. If you need to add in more legato or change how it's done, just go for it. This is hard to do. There's no point making this stuff more difficult than is strictly necessary. But let's just break it down anyway. So we've got some pull-offs, B string, pull off, these two notes, and a little bit of pedal point. Again, just using those pull-offs, like that. Employ some light palm muting here. So experiment with where your palm needs to be in relation to the bridge, just to kind of get it a bit more staccato. Pick the next 3 notes, and a pull-off to round up bar 1. So that bar by itself. We want to re-employ a bit more of light palm muting when we hit this 12th fret on the next bar. Pull off. So if I palm mute that a bit better. I'm using my 3rd finger for these notes on the 12th fret. I think Schenker does this as well, but just do what suits your hands best. You know, if you need to use those 2 fingers, those 2. If you like rolling it like me, whatever, just go with what suits your hands, as I say. So we've got those 3 notes. You want to ease off the palm muting at this point, and then we're picking this note, this one, then a pull off. Quarter tone bend, just picking the B string, either a half tone or a quarter tone on this 11th fret, then we're hopping over to the E string. Want to pick these 2 notes, pull off, quarter tone bend, so let's go for that bar. Bar 3 we're going to hammer on, pick these 3 notes, little hammer on pull off, pick the next 2, and look out for little chunks as well, mini phrases like this. So for example, with the first half of bar 3, that melody for some reason stuck in my head. It can really help if you just get little segments. Often they can overlap bars as well, so don't be too bothered to get a bar at a time. Try and think of like, or hear the little phrases or kind of melodies within the lick. But yeah, a little quarter tone bend. This note's also held for slightly longer, so we get a tiny reprieve in an otherwise pretty frantic lick. Picking these notes, pulling off, little half step bend, picking this, tiny quarter tone bend on this note, and then we're coming down the scale in bar 4. So it's just coming down the blues scale. If you can add a bit of that harmonic attack in here, you know, go for it, it's going to sound good. And this goes into triplets as well, as you get to slow down a bit here. The bit to watch out for, I suppose, is we're sliding from this 9th fret down to the 7th at the end, and then you want to bend the 7th fret somewhere. I'm going to say, be really awkward and say like somewhere in between a half and a quarter tone bend, because we're not really bending all the way up to the major 3rd, but it's that typical bluesy thing that people do. This part of the song is in C sharp minor, and we're making really good use of the Dorian blues scale, which regular viewers are sure to be well familiar with at this point. Shout out to the Lick Squad Elite, you guys rock. Michael Schenker uses this scale a lot, and if you mess around with it, you'll likely come up with some licks that sound a bit like his. He'll often move the flat 3rd from the E string, where we often play it down to the A here. So a lot of time the Dorian blues will be a Schenker variation. So playing this note here instead of there. Right. It's a subtle thing, but this move really makes the scale feel a lot less boxy and can help you with position shifts. Again, the tab for that scale is in the tab bundle for this video lesson up at my patreon.com/jbfmusic. There are a lot of notes here, so rather than going through each one, what we'll go for is a more broad strokes analysis, because I think that's much more useful and applicable. First up, he's using a lot of legato, you know, pulling off. Playing the 6th, that 11th fret on the B string, probably a lot more than his contemporaries would, so lean into that for more of a kind of Schenker sound. Even the little pedal point idea is pretty Schenker sounding in and of itself. Like we found out in the first lick, the blues note is a go-to move of his, so if we take that, the mini sweep concept, and combine it with this pedal point Dorian blues idea, we can get a mini Schenker lick. So it's totally up to you how you resolve it. I was just winging it there. But I think I bent this note back to pitch, pulled off, and then down to the 5th, which is another idea we touched on. And it sounds so much more Michael Schenker than going this. So that lick a wee bit slower. The light palm muting is really crucial to his overall sound. You could even try integrating it into this mini lick we've got though. When you add in the palm muting, admittedly I'm nowhere near as good at it as Schenker is, but you get some of that kind of clarity and tone that he does. It can even make a guitar profile sound a bit more like Schenker, well, within reason. So on top of the legato, adding in these subtle bluesy quarter tone bends. On the flat 7th, the flat 5th, the 4th, and the 3rd, which we do down here, will make it less 80s hair metal and more kind of groovy Schenker. So to recap those, the Dorian blues scale, making good use of the 6th, mini pedal point licks, fading in some light palm muting, subtle bends, and of course his great intuitive use of legato. For a tip on Schenker's tone and how he uses his wah-wah pedal, check out that quick tutorial. This has been Signature Guitar Licks, that's the playlist there, but yeah, hit subscribe to keep up to date with the channel, leave me a comment, check out the tabs on my Patreon, and enable all notifications by ringing that little bell on the side if you feel so inclined. Cheers guys.